love, everybody. Greetings to everybody watching the channel today. We thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
And we hope we're giving you guys some much needed thought, much needed information over and above just building a container home.
Right.
Okay. But today, we're coming to you because we done finished our deck.
No, we have not finished our deck. We started on our deck.
We finished it. It
Well,
ain't,
it's not totally
it ain't
finished.
completely finished. But the deck is done.
Right.
The awning and putting in the banisters, that ain't done.
And the flagstone.
And the flagstone. But it's done for this level.
Right.
The first stage is done.
Right.
Okay, how's that?
Okay.
Fair enough. Alright, so what you're going to watch in this video is us do this thing from rooter to tutor. From digging in the dirt to leveling out from the slope of the ground. And I'll recap on that again. Again, if you got the bread to get your land leveled, if you got the bread to have architects do some plannings, do it. It will make your build a lot simpler. But again, the subjective point is if you got the bread. When we started this adventure, we did not have the bread.
No.
So, because of that, we are identifying things that we have to compensate for in our build. So, in this build, you're going to see where we had to dig it to the ground to create a levelness. And you're going to see, I'm getting kind of good, even if I say so myself. You know what I'm saying? Myself. Getting kind of good, you know. So, that's what you're going to see in this video. But, before we get into that, let me see if my wife got 2 cents to add.
Yeah. So this will be a part 1 video of our deck. And my little 2 cents, as we've been out here for almost 4 years now, in a lot of the videos I speak to taking your time, and not acting in haste. And what I mean by that is not trying to hurry up and get to the end of the rainbow and, you know, having everything figured out. So 3 years ago, when we dug for the basement, we had this big hill pile of dirt on the property. And we spoke about it and said, okay, well, what are we going to do with all this dirt? But at that moment, we really didn't have time to think about it or try to figure it out because we were too entailed in making sure the basement was done properly. So fast forward to now, we didn't foresee us doing the deck to this shipping container home. Like, that just did not cross our mind. Like, okay, yeah, we're going to do a deck and it's going to be like this. No. We really did not see that. And so, you know, when we decided on doing the deck, you know, just coincidentally, that pile of dirt came in handy, and that was what we needed to fill in the deck so we can have a stabilized foundation to pour the cement on. And so, my point in sharing that with you guys is, you know, don't act in haste and don't rush to worry about, you know, what you're going to do later on and how everything is going to pan out. Stay in the moment. That's one of the most profound things that I've learned in being out here living off grid, is to stay in the moment and not worry about tomorrow, not dwell on yesterday, but to actually stay in the moment and not make a hasty decision. Because when you inundate your brain with all of those things, what's going to happen and how I'm going to do this, you would never accomplish anything successfully. And for those of you that are not thinking about embarking on this, and I'm going to say this without speaking to my opinion, but for those of you that are on the fence about taking this shot, don't make a hasty decision about, you know, whether or not you're going to do that, and being stressed about what society is telling you what this government is telling you, what people are telling you. Fall back. Fall back and follow your spirit. Let your spirit guide you to your decision. And, do some self-analyzing. The one thing that I will say is the Creator gave us one thing to take care of, and that's this temple. You have no control over what's going to happen in the future. And if you think rushing out to get this shot so things can get back to normal, this shit is never going to get back to normal. So the only thing that you have control of is this. And the moment we lose autonomy and choice over what we put on and put in our bodies, you are no longer living. You're only existing. So my message is, take your time. Don't act in haste.
That's a good message. That's a good message. I'm going to just piggyback on that. That was so profound. I don't know what to say now. All right. Serious note. I completely concur with my wife. My thought is about critical thinking, which goes hand in hand with what she's saying. In doing this deck, I had to critically think. I had to think, how do I get this thing to be level with a sloped land? I had to figure that out. I had to think, how do I get this thing to be stable? Because it's so big. This deck is 20 feet by 16 feet. So it's a big ass deck. You're going to learn what a real deck is today. All right. But anyway, that was my joke throughout the video. You're going to learn today. But it's a big ass deck. And I had to really think, like this deck really made me dig into my repertoire of really thinking. How do I make sure the cement don't collapse? How do I make sure the stone that I'm going to put on the cement don't collapse? How do I make sure it doesn't sink, it doesn't crack, blah, blah, blah. And also, how do I make sure it look good? So I had to do a lot of critical thinking, all right? So I'm going to drive that thought of critical thinking into what my wife was saying about not being hasty. All right. Critically think about what they have told you. Critically think about the timelines you've been given. You've been told that this situation came about last March. Now you've been told a year later, they created a solution, tested this solution, approved this solution, and now this solution is safe for you. Well, when I critically think about that, I say to myself, well, how the hell could y'all test it? Because testing in my brain should be at least a year to a 6-month window of testing. So that's impossible in this timeline. So it makes me really beg the question of if any testing occurred, or B, if you guys already had it ready. And if you already had it ready, then you already knew that this was going to happen. And if you already knew this was going to happen, then this is not a pan anything. It's a plan. Okay? So, critically think, people. Like, really sit down and think through what you're being told. You're being told you have to sit at a restaurant, remove a face covering only when you sit down, but then when you stand up and walk out, you got to recover. And your safety is in the hands of a dishwasher in the back of the kitchen that is ensuring your dishes are safe, and the forks that don't went in somebody else's mouth is clean, and blah, 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 and there's no risk there. Think about that. Does that even make sense? I could sit down in this room this whole time and talk and run my mouth, but the minute I stand up, now there's an issue that I must be cognizant of that becomes a spreadable concept. Be mindful. We're choosing our words in this video strategically because we don't want our video flagged. Okay? So, I hope I shouldn't have to spell out every thought. I spoke in the last video of remember the history. the same people right now telling you what to do. These are the same people who gave black men syphilis in the Tuskegee experiment. These are the same people who dropped a bomb in 1921 in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Black Wall Street. These are the same people who dropped 2 bombs on Japan, Nagasaki and Hiroshima, and Japan had already surrendered before the second one was dropped. These are the same people who put crack in our neighborhoods. And somehow we seem to forget all of this. And somehow we seem to think that now all of a sudden they're telling you the truth. Critically think. And to my wife's point, don't be hasty. Okay? So I'm going to stop there because I can go on and on and on, but I'm not trying to, go too deep. I just want to shed a little thought to you so you can really think for yourself. It's not my place to impose what to tell you to think. I'm just sharing some thoughts for you to sit back and say, damn, okay, shit, I didn't think about that like that. And before you go letting them put things in your body, do your own homework. You're watching all these commercials on TV now of all these side effects. Well, hell, baby powder gave women cancer. And now you think it's okay for you just to stick something in you? How many of y'all women out there was using that baby powder? Hell, Xanax not give you cancer. You had gas, Xantex, I'm sorry. Xantex, come on, man, think. You know what I'm saying? There's a movie with Marlon Wayans called Senseless. That movie cracked me up. It's about him taking a experimental drug.
We saw that.
Go watch that movie.
All the side effects.
Go watch that movie. Yeah, side effects from hell.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave it there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. My wife puts a lot of work into these videos, guys. So please, watch them. We're doing this for a reason. We're not doing this just because we don't have shit else to do. Obviously, we got a lot of shit to do. But we're trying to give our people some thought. And for you to see there is another way, and for you to see that you do have a back door. Everybody's equation to their back door is different. I'm not suggesting your equation is my equation or mine is yours. I'm just suggesting to you there is a equation. You have to figure it out. Till next time, peace. Be free.
Go ahead.
Hey everybody. So what we're doing is we're about to start our deck.
Yay!
Pan over there. Those are the trees we had to cut down.
Yeah, we had to cut down a lot of trees to clear this area for the pool.
So we had to clear that. That's basically where the swimming pool's going. We had to get the trees pulled out. But before we get to that, we're starting on the deck.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're doing now is we've dry laid the first row. Alright, I had to dry lay it to see how everything's gonna line up, see where I was off, see what I messed up on in my calculations. So, not too bad. I got one block there that I'm gonna have to cut an inch off of. Always them damn little inches and eighths of an inch and and grinding that block ain't no joke. But I'm gonna have a cut right there. There's nothing I can do about it. But we're gonna dry lay it out. Then we're gonna mark it. We're gonna cut our rebar here. And then once we cut the rebar, drill the holes into the cement where the rebar is gonna go. Put the rebar in. And then after that, we'll start laying the block. Right now we're just getting everything set up and organized. And the deck will come flush to the door, or well, right to the bottom of the door. But I don't want to spoil the whole video. So you'll see. So until next time, be free.
Cool.
So, hey everybody. So what we're just doing now is we're putting in a drain pipe.
Explain the whole reason in case you can't.
I'm
In
not
case it didn't come.
I
No, I'm
don't
just.
explain it.
No,
See how
I'm
my
just.
wife do. She just always got.
No, because the last time it was windy when you were explaining it.
yeah,
The
when I was
reason.
explaining it.
Explaining it. I said explaining
All right,
it.
well, come closer.
All right.
So I don't have to yell so hard.
Okay.
All right. So what we're doing is we're putting in a drain pipe, okay? Because it was windy last time. So the drain pipe is going to be for my wife's kitchen. She wants an outdoor kitchen. Being out here off grid, yeah, you cook inside, but when you don't have central air and air conditioning at your total disposal, your ass don't want to be cooking in that hot kitchen if it get hot, because the kitchen going to make it hotter in the house. So that's kind of why we built our outside kitchen over there, because we kind of learned that lesson in year one of living off grid. We'd cook breakfast in the morning and be like, God damn, it's hot in here. So we built the outside kitchen. So in this scenario, we're going to have a much nicer outside kitchen. So this is going to be the drain pipe. Drain pipe is going to run from her sink. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a makeshift septic tank right here using a 5-gallon bucket, dig it in the ground, and then put some tubes to come out of it. This is going to be a garden. And so it'll water underneath the dirt. I'll put one of those tops on it, like the sprinkler things where you just lift the top up so I can take the bucket out, clean it out from time to time. And that's what this is going to be. So, We're gonna run a gas line from here, from about that end. We're gonna run a gas line also, but we're not gonna put the gas line in until we put the dirt. So the gas line will sit on top of the dirt before we put the cement in. So that's what we're doing. My wife gotta have a goddamn kitchen.
That's right.
This big ass goddamn deck. Look how big this deck is. You're gonna learn today what a real deck is. All right. You're gonna learn today.
How big is the deck, baby?
This deck is 20 feet by 16 feet. So now I gotta figure out how to cover it. I ain't figured that out yet.
That's
so
all
if
right.
anybody got any thoughts on roofing, because I got to make another fucking pergola outside on the deck that's going to slope off that deck to this deck. So by the time this go up, it'll be enough time that if anybody see it, you got any suggestions for me on how to do the roofing deck, I'm open. Till next time, be free.
Be free.
All right, so what we did yesterday is we poured a slab here that we're going to stack block on top of. That's what you're going to see today before we fill this in. So as you can see, this is a pretty big space. It's a 20 by 16 space. So what we, talking to some people, a friend of ours kind of gave us a good tip. We're going to stack some blocks here to act as a pressure point in the middle. So where the middle of the section is, it won't do this if the dirt that we put in here does any settling, because fundamentally the dirt's going to hold the weight. But if there's any settling of the dirt, having a pillar here will make sure that the cement don't, teeter-totter on a pressure point. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to dry stack them though, and then use like a dry mix and then just spray the block just for the cement to get some moisture. We're not going to lay them. Problem is they're going to be too tall, so I'm going to have to cut 8 block, which I'm not looking forward to. But to get them to the right height, because otherwise they're going to be too high. And I want them to set plumb to, you'll see us post a string line. I want them to set plumb. Forgive my energy, I'm tired.
We both are exhausted.
We've been doing this for a week now.
Yeah.
And I'm just exhausted.
We're both over it.
I got a lot of tax work I need to do, so for all y'all getting there, this is why. So that's what we're about to do now. Then we got a guy coming today with his bulldozer. You'll see that. And me and my wife dumping the dirt in here, tamping it down. So next time, be free.
Tell what you're doing. What are you doing, Mr. Freeman?
I'm letting my wife work the shit out of me. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
That's right.
And I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it.
I don't think you're working hard enough. You're not working hard enough.
Oh, man.
I don't see enough sweat.
Right, I just got done shoveling. So what I'm doing is we're going to fill this baby up with dirt. I'm leveling it out. So when we pour concrete slab on it, it can bear the weight. I'll explain this when I rebar it. I don't feel like explaining it right now because I'm out of fucking breath.
So explain why you're using a hand tamper and not an automated tamper.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Because inquiring minds may want to know.
Yeah, so before y'all let me a dumbass comment,
Stop.
like, I'm just playing. You could have rented it. No shit. Yeah, I know. No, for real. The jack, they call them jumping jacks, and they're a tamper that jumps like a jackhammer almost. But I didn't want to use that because that could blow my walls out. And then I was gonna get the kind that just sit and vibrate real slow, But after talking to the guys, it just didn't seem like the best choice because you can only get so close to the wall, which means I'm going to have to hand tamp that anyway, which means now I got to lift that thing up here, use it, drive to town, bring it back, drive back to town, drop it off. Well, hell, by the time I do all that, I just tamp it. Plus, I get an exercise. I get a good workout. Had them guns for the summer.
There you go, there you go.
So, I figure I'll do it the old school real way.
There you go. Alright.
We ain't no punks.
No, we're not no punks.
I'm no punk beach. The good thing is our dirt, let me show you this. Our dirt has a lot of this in it. This is caliche. This is basically limestone. This is what they make cement out of, okay? You basically, if you took a bunch of this and burned it, and burned all the oxygen out of it, and then re-put it back with water, it would turn into cement. But the good point is, we got a lot of this in our dirt already. So, when I go to tamp it, it just breaks apart into the dirt. So, it's kind of sticky already to the touch. It's already kind of sticky to the touch. So this is all the dirt that we took out our basement. So because we went so deep in the basement, we started hitting caliche. So all this dirt here, you see, is all our basement dirt. And it got some pretty good sizes in it, you know. But when you get real, see, I just do like that. That's all that is cement. But when you get real deep, that shit get real hard. It's like, it'll get like this kind of hard. And these ain't, see, they ain't as easy to break. So, they have different timelines, I guess. So that's the good thing, is this deck will be really strong. So like I said, my wife like working the shit out of me. Then she gonna make me go cook dinner after this, y'all.
That's right. And it should
You
make me some dessert on top of that.
See how I get done out here? See this? I don't know, y'all women be over there talking about, yep, that's right, girl. That's right, girl. So on top of this will go a 3.5-inch slab of cement. Then you'll see me rebar that up after I finish this. And then you'll see us pour it. Then we're gonna call it, you're gonna learn what a real deck today is. All right, all right, all right. You're gonna learn today. That's a real deck.
For real.
For real.
Butane valve.
Looks good. Right?
It does. It's beautiful. That's beautiful, babe. You sound fine.